Okay, guys, so yes, today apparently there's no news, and today I have so much news, it's literally running out of my ass. So let's just jump straight into it. And sorry for the visual image there. Hillary Clinton, Europe must curb immigration to stop right-wing populists. Oh my god, Hillary Clinton has literally got a brain. I am shocked. So let's face it, this is more about the fact that the left can't seem to win an election or do very well when it comes to elections, especially the far left. So at the end of the day, she's now trying this because she wants to be more moderate because she's going to run for 2020. Yeah, I'm calling it now. Guys, break out your memes from 2016. They're going to be just as good for 2020. But let's jump into it. Europe must get a handle on immigration to combat a growing threat from right-wing populists, Hillary Clinton has said. Damn, this girl is actually quite smart. Damn it, I thought she was dumb. Calling on the continent's leaders to send out a strong signal showing they are not able to continue to provide refugees and support. In an interview with Guardian, the former Democratic president candidate praised the generosity shown by German Chancellor Angela Merkel, but suggested immigration was inflaming voters to contribute to the election of Donald Trump, Britain's vote on the leave of the EU. And she's absolutely right. It was. Well done, Hillary. You have a brain. Let's keep going. I think Europe needs to get a handle on immigration because it's what lit the flame, Clinton said, speaking a part of a series of interviews with senior centrist political figures about the rise of populists, particularly on the right in Europe and the Americas, and in Australia too, because even Scott Morrison is starting to go a little bit towards the right. We'll cover that story in a bit. I admire the very generous and compassionate approaches that were taken, particularly by leaders like Angela Merkel. But I think it's fair to say Europe has done its part and must send a very clear message. We're not going to be able to continue to provide refugees and support because if we don't deal with the immigration issue, it will continue to roil the body politic. I don't get that part, but anyway. Clinton's remarks are likely to provide Clinton's remarks are likely to prove controversial, across Europe, and has struggled to form an unidentified pose ever since more than 1 million migrants and refugees arrived in the EU in 2015. While some countries have borne the brunt, such as Germany, Italy, and Greece, have argued for the burden to be shared more evenly, some, particularly in Central and Eastern Europe, have rejected demands to take in refugees. Migration numbers have fallen sharply since 2015, while a series of initiatives have been tabled from a 10,000-member European board and Coast Guard agency to overhaul of the EU asylum procedures. Clinton was one of 3 heavyweights of the centre-left interviewed by The Guardian to better understand why their brand of politics appears to be failing. All 3 have seen their countries upended by political events that to some degree can be explained by the success of right-wing populism. In other 2 interviewees, Tony Blair and Maratto Renzi, agreed the immigration issue had posed significant problems for centrist politics. You got to deal with the legitimate grievances and answer them, which is why today in Europe you cannot possibly stand for an election unless you've got a strong position on immigration because people are worried about it, Blair said. You got to answer those problems. If you don't answer them, then you leave a large space in which the populists can march. Clinton urged forces opposed to right-wing populism in Europe and the US not to neglect the concerns about race and identity issues that she says were behind her losing key votes in 2016. She accuses Trump of exploiting the issue in the election contest and in office. The use of immigration as a political device, as a symbol of government gone wrong. The attacks on one's heritage, one's identity, one's nationality, have been very much exploited by the current administration here, she says. Funny, I would have thought it was the other way around, but anyway. There are solutions to immigration or migration that do not require clamping down on the press. Huh? You're talking about Jim Acosta? Okay. We're going to go with that, are we? On your political opponents and trying to suborn the judiciary, or seeking financial and political help from Russia to support your political parties and movements. Oh my God, we're going on about Russia again still. Oh boy, I thought she had a brain. She only has half a brain. Brexit, described by Clinton as the biggest act of national economic self-harm in modern history, was largely about immigration, she said. And she's right, it was. It's not the biggest self-harm, but I think it'd actually be good for the UK. But anyway, Clinton, Blair and Rosini said the right-wing populism had not just fed off issues of identity, but was also driven by a disruptive way of conducting politics that dramatizes division and uses rhetoric of crisis. The centre-left struggled to get its voice heard over simplistic, emotional language used against it, they said. Blair said populism would continue to rise until mainstream parties found a way to cut through the reductive soundbites that populists deploy so effectively. I don't think it's reached its peak, he said, when asked about the electoral success of populism globally. I think it'll peak, in my view, when the centre ground recovers its mojo and has a strong forward agenda. No, populism is here to stay. I'm sorry to tell you, but anyway. Is there much more? No, okay. So let's keep going. A significant part of the problem here is the desire for leaders that is going to just push through change without regarding to political pressure. You know that's getting things done mentally. Clinton said right-wing populism in the West met a physiological as much as a political yearning to be told what to do and where to go and how to live, and have their press basically stifled so be given one version of reality. Okay, bad grammar, but anyway. The whole American system was designed so that you would be limited to the threat from a strong authoritarian king or the leader that maybe people are just tired of. They don't want that much responsibility and freedom. They want to be told what to do and where to go and how to live, and the only one version of reality, and given only one version of reality. Well, that sentence is kind of telling, isn't it? Apparently the Democrats don't believe in freedom anymore. I don't agree with her regarding Trump. I don't think Trump is against the press. I think Trump is calling the press what it is, which is a partisan hack. And at the end of the day, I think he has every right to do that. Fox News is right-wing partisan. Most of the other mainstream is all left-wing partisan. Let's call it for what it is, people. Okay? There's no shock. There's no surprise. CNN is literally dubbed the Clinton News Network. So, yeah. She also reveals her contempt for Steve Bannon, who attempted to bolster right-wing populist parties in Europe, is stalling everywhere outside of Italy. Don't think it's stalling anywhere, but anyway. Has anyone seen the election just happen in Brazil? Rome is the right place for him since it's bread and circumcisus. I'm getting that wrong. And is old to recorded history. Keep people diverted, keep them riled up, and appeal to their prejudices. Give them a sense that they are part of something bigger than themselves, while elected leaders and business leaders steal them blind. It's a classic story, and Stephen Bannon is the latest avatar of it. I think she's talking about herself there, but anyway, moving along. Renzini, might be mispronouncing, bemoaned a general shift that he said that he elevated hate and confrontation over administration and respect. There is a climate of hate that has come from Five-Star Movement and the League, he said of his political opponents in Italy. This is the problem of the new generation. They are elected to hate and to envy. Okay, so look, at the end of the day, what's the main takeaway from this? Look, Hillary Clinton is right to a certain point. The Populist Party is literally feeding off this whole immigration debate. There's a reason. It is because immigration is hugely unpopular. So the populists run on it. That's what a populist does. And at the end of the day, the populist basically goes through, and they are people, or presidential campaigns, or prime ministers, or whoever it may be, who literally run on things that are popular. They represent the people. And she is right when they say people don't want immigration. Yes, they don't want immigration. Yep, congratulations. But at the end of the day, people also don't want identity politics. So even though she's right technically, no, this will not stop the populist movement, because at the end of the day, people don't want identity politics either. People don't want generally to go to school and hear about 72 genders. So at the end of the day, no, I think she's right at some point, but I think she's still missing the point. As for her running in 2020, I tell you now, she will. Hillary Clinton will run in 2020. I'll be very surprised if she does not. She's trying to do the whole, look at me, I'm more centrist, because she lost the Rust Belt, because her politics was so unpopular. People don't realise it wasn't her politics that was unpopular, it was her. When people went and voted for Trump, it was them not voting for Hillary. It wasn't because they were voting for his politics, not always anyway, and it wasn't because they were voting for or against her politics. They were voting against her. If you had got someone like Al Gore or not Michael Moore, but Al Gore or some centrist politician to run against Trump, they probably would have won. The problem is now is that Trump is actually doing a really, really good job, and the economy is bouncing along. Up until recently anyway, but that's more Democrats than Trump. So, people are going to sit there and think, well, shit, we gave him a chance and he's done a good job. Let's not give him, why are we going to get rid of him? Let's keep him in. So it's going to be harder now to dethrone Trump than it was originally. But I don't know, guys. Let me know your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you believe that Hillary Clinton is sort of on the mark with this? Do you believe that the Populist Party movement has gone through and has basically rode this immigration wave or anti-immigration wave? Do you think that if they got rid of immigration, that would stop that? Or do you think that this populist movement is just one small section when it comes to anti-immigration? Other things like, for example, identity politics and whatnot, they're also going to ride on. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. If the video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new, channel welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, have a great day. Enjoy your Thanksgiving.